With that, let me jump on to our next speaker, Bhavana. And Bhavana is going to talk to us about improving customer experience in search results pages as a case study. And a little about Bhavana is that she's a product manager currently at Big Basket. She works on improving customer experience for the overall on-site. She considers herself a designer at heart, product person by mind, and an engineer by her roots. She's a QA engineer turned into a product manager and is passionate about her user-friendly design, be it hardware or software. And she believes in giving her learning back to the product community in whichever way she can. She loves blogging and loves to share interesting stories about product design and technology in general. So welcome, Bhavna, and over to you straight away.
Awesome. Hello. Thank you everyone, firstly, for joining on a Saturday evening. So let's quickly get started. I'll just share my screen. So, okay. So today we will be talking about the case study of Big Basket of how we improved the search results, thereby improving the customer experience on the search results page, which in turn will lead to more add to carts from your search results page. And that will, of course, improve your revenue, right? So at Big Basket, I have been working on product search for close to 2 years now. And today I'm going to share those case studies with you, right? So, okay. So firstly, talking about the CTA that you will provide on the search results page. So for example, in grocery business, right? So Big Basket is, as you know, India's largest online grocery supermarket. So here, what we think is that when it comes to grocery, like onion, or when you're searching for rice, you don't have to go to the product description page and then decide, right? So if you look at the screenshot on the left, so as soon as you search, right, you will find an add to basket button, right? And when it comes to grocery business, the main thing is the pack type, right? Whether you need 2 kg rice or 5 kg rice, correct? So all of this information, if you can provide in the search results page itself, it will make sure that the customer can quickly see that major information and add that product to basket. But if you think about Amazon, right? So it deals products of various categories. So when you search for iPhone or computer, for example, you will need to look into a lot of specifications, which you will get only in the product description page. So that is the reason we do not have an add to cart add to cart button on Amazon page. Now, similarly, if you look at Myntra, right? So where you're shopping clothes, the CTA or the button which they have given is the wish list option, correct? Like in Myntra, when you search for UCB t-shirts, you will find that wish list option, so that you will wish list few products and then in the end, you can buy 1 or 2, correct? So one of the key things that we do in grocery business is that we have provided add to basket button right on the search results page. So similarly, in your website, you can decide whether to provide add to basket button or wish list or maybe nothing, right? It depends on the kind of products that you sell. So that was one of the key things. Now coming to the search data, right? So if at all you're selling like 20, 30,000 products on your site, you will get 1 million queries every day, right? Now, how do you even look at the queries? Of course, we cannot go through query by query, right? So what we will do is first we will classify this huge, massive search data into 3 simple buckets, okay? So before going there, I will talk about what is search query. So search query is nothing but whatever user typed in the search box, correct? So if at all I typed rice and system also understands rice as a word, so it means that the search query and the search term was the same, correct? And in this case, we will call it as a successful search. Now, similarly, let's say you search for conflicts, okay? I mean, it's a wrong spelling of conflicts. Now, system could not find any product which has this spelling, correct? And now, one thing is it will also try to correct the spelling, but unfortunately, for this spelling of conflicts, even your search system could not correct it, right? So in that case, we showed 0 results to the customer. So where we will say no results found for conflicts. So that is when the bucket will be for failed search, that where we showed no results for the customer. Now we'll come to the third category where let's say I type for Maggie. Okay. Now Now the system could correct it to the correct spelling of Maggie. And similarly, Lysol. So this is a wrong spelling, but the system could correct it to the right spelling of Lysol. So this is what we will classify as partial success, where we did show results. The system could correct whatever the user typed, it could correct it to some relevant spelling. So that is what we will call as partial success. Okay. Now, what will we look in these buckets, right? So if you think about it, each of these buckets will have like 10,000 queries. What will we look at? So what we did is that we sorted it in descending order. Basically, what I mean is that we will look at the queries which have got maximum number of searches, right? So if we can fix the queries for which people are searching more and more, and then look at the queries which have low traffic, we will be able to solve major problems. Right? So for example, in case of failed searches, right, where we showed no results at all. So few examples could be cornflakes and chocolate. I mean, these are the kind of spelling that we actually get. So this is all real data, okay? So failed searches, so here there are no results. So obviously the conversion rate is 0, okay? Now, if you think about partial bucket, where we are saying that, okay, the user entered query A, but system corrected it to some term B. Now we never know whether it is correcting it in the right way, correct? So previously we saw examples where the system could correct it in the right way. But now what we will see is, we will also see that the system did not actually correct it in the right way. For example, Volini, we do not have Volini products on BigBasket, but users searched for Volini and the system was correcting it to volumizing. And similarly, users were searching for Nevia and the system was correcting the spelling to Evian, which is completely irrelevant, right? So, but these problems, you will be able to notice it only when you look at each query, correct? But now, again, we cannot look at each and every query, that those 10,000 queries, right? So what we will look at is, what we looked at is, we took the top ones, let's say out of 10,000, we took the top 500. And what we said is, we'll see for these 500 queries, which have the least conversion rate, correct? Let's say your website has 50% conversion rate on search results page. Okay. Now what we did is, we looked at 500 or 1,000 queries which had less than 10% conversion. So that means even though we are showing some results, people are not adding items to basket. So it clearly means that search results are off. I mean, of course, there could be various factors playing here. It could be the price, that, okay, there is no discount, or maybe all the products are also out of stock. But I mean, keeping these things aside, which as a product person, you will not be able to control this, right? You may not be able to control the price of a product. It is something which the category managers do. But from a product point of view, what could you do, correct? So here is where you will have to look at the queries with maximum number of searches, but a very low conversion rate. Okay, so we'll see what we did. Okay, so first thing that we did was we fixed the easy problem. Correct. So the easy problem is to fix the spell correction. There we said that, okay, Nivea should be corrected to the right spelling of Nivea, and conflicts, you have to correct it to the right conflict spelling. So two ways, if at all you want to solve it in the right way, in the best way, we will have to make changes in the system's correction algorithms, right? But let's say you do not have much time and you have to fix at least few queries very, very quickly. So what you could do is, you could build a manual spell check, where you will do one-to-one mapping, where you will say, okay, for this spelling of Nivea, correct it to this spelling of Nivea, correct? Because your system is already handling, let's say, 90% of incorrect spellings, right? We saw Maggie and Lysol getting corrected to the right spelling. But now the system's algorithm is not able to correct everything like that, okay? So that is the reason maybe you could first experiment with a manual spell check level. But if you have more time, more bandwidth, then of course it's better to improve using the system's spell correction. Correct. So that was the easy one to fix for the spell corrected queries. Now, if you think about Volini case, so Volini, the spelling is also right, but we do not have those products at BigBasket currently. Okay. maybe, see, of course, users will want various brands to be present on your website, but it will take time for the e-commerce website to get all of these products on your website, correct? So in that time, what could you do as a product person, correct? So Volini, what we decided is, that is basically customers are looking at some pain relief cream or spray. Now, what are the alternate products? What are the similar products that we could show for Volini? So we said that we will map Volini to move, right? So that is the screenshot that you will see here. Right? No results found for Volini. You may be interested in these similar products. And we showed move products. So here we did two things, right? So first thing, instead of showing no results page for Volini, that, okay, we don't even have Volini, or let's say it corrected it to volumizing. So in that case, it is completely irrelevant. I mean, users will feel that, okay, what is the search even doing? So in that case, what we did is that we are telling, okay, we do not have Volini, maybe you are interested in these similar products. So you ensured good customer experience there. And who knows, if at all I am not a person who is very brand conscious, but I'm really in need of a pain relief spray, I would buy this Move product, right? So there, what you did is you just sold a 200 rupees item, correct? Just by tweaking your search algorithm. So this is how we fixed one of the problems with respect to queries, which had very low conversion, okay? So similarly, another example was Teddy Bar. Teddy Bar, also we do not have that brand product. So we said that we will map Teddy Bar to Subaman, and we will show, okay, no results found for Teddy Bar, and you may be interested in these similar products, and then you will see Subaman results. So this is how we fix the easy problems, okay? So this was fixing the failed searches, and let's say this was fixing the partial searches. Now we will look at success bucket, okay? Where we will say, does successful search actually mean successful conversion, right? So for example, if you think about the whole bucket, let's say 80% was successful, 10% was failed, and 10% was partial. Does that 80% of does it mean that 80% of your queries are working well, right? But that is not the truth, okay? The answer is no, that it's not like 80% of your queries are working really well. And I'll give you this example here. So if you think about, if you see this example on the right, let's say I searched for red chili maybe 6 months back on Big Basket. What I was seeing is, I was seeing this product, okay? When I searched for red chili, the first result that I saw was BB Royal Masala Cashew Red Chili, okay? Now, I mean, it's very apparent that why this came. It's because I searched for red chili and PD, the product description, had red chili. But if you think about it, this is not the right result that what the customer is looking for. When people search for red chili, I mean, you can even search that on Google, you will find dry chili products, right? So basically what we mean is what customers are trying to search is for dry chili, okay? But when users were searching for red chili, we were showing this and the conversion was very less. So that is when we searched on Big Basket and we saw, oh, we are showing the wrong results. So that is when we added synonyms, okay? So synonyms, just to tell you what it is, it means that they are regional level terms. They are the same thing. For example, onion, pyaz, and iruli are synonyms. That is, if you search for pyaz, you have to show onion products. And similarly, iruli is onion in Kannada. And if I search for iruli, we should show onion products, right? So especially when it comes to grocery business, you know that people tend to search in their regional language words, correct? So this is something called synonyms, and it's pretty common when you're building a search engine. So now what we did here is, we just said that, okay, red chili and dry chili are synonyms. So once we just added that synonym, it was like a 2 minutes fix, okay? So once I added dry chili and red chili as synonyms, we started showing organic red chili, stemless red chili, and all of these products. So that was the first thing that we did. And one more improvement which the content team did is that they also added red as part of the product description so that customers can easily relate to it. let's say when I searched for red chili, if at all I showed the red chili product, but the title read as BB Royal Organic Dry Red Whole, right? I mean, red chili whole. In that case, maybe there is a slightly disconnect. So that is when content also stepped in, and they also added this red in the product description. So this is how you will improve the experience on the search results page, right? I mean, it's always best to show the relevant results on at least the first 10. I would say the first 10 should be extremely relevant, and that is when you can ensure the best conversion rates on your search results page. And to conclude, what are the search KPIs? So you will have to look at the percentage of failed searches, right? So you have to ensure that the number of failed searches where we are showing 0 results is extremely low, right? Because either your spell correction or maybe those products are not even there, but you will have to figure out a mechanism that how can you show similar products. So that is the first point. And coming to the second one, when the results are shown, you have to ensure that the add to cart conversion is high, right? So if at all your average is 50%, you have to ensure that most of your top queries, at least, of course, you cannot ensure 50% conversion on all the searches, but at least your top ones, if at all you can solve for those queries, your major problems are solved. So I would say focus on the queries which has very high traffic, which people are searching very often, but very low add to carts are happening, right? So that is where there is a problem with the search results. So, and these problems, they get revealed only when you look at query level data. Like at a high level, if I think about it, okay, 80% of my queries are working well, then we would have never been able to solve the problem of red chili, right? So I think with that, I will conclude this. So thank you for joining the session on a Saturday evening. Happy to take questions.
Great. Thanks so much, Bhavna. It was quite an insightful session.
Sure.
I have a couple of things on my mind right now, and with your permission, if I may ask.
Sure, of course.
Right. So you mentioned, there are two things that I have to basically ask you. One is, have you experimented with the autofill, kind of approach, wherein people don't have to have a lot of cognitive, pressure on their brain to type out. Rather, it automatically comes to them and they can simply pick. What is your learning from there? And if you have tried that. And second one is about you mentioned about regional language, I mean, regional names for products. Have you experimented with languages, as in, having search queries in languages? Have you even explored that part of for your products?
I didn't get the second question, but let me answer the first one. So I think your question is, have we done any improvements in the auto search part of algorithm, right? Is that what you're asking?
That's right. So the user does not, the queries come in properly from them. So when they get to, auto, pick things, so the spelling is correct for the database. Yes.
Yes. So we have done a lot of improvements in auto search also. So if you think about it, the minute you type, like if you start typing APPL, you will start seeing Apple results. Like if you start typing ONI, you will see the first result to be onion, right? So we have improved a lot of, we have improved the algorithm in auto search also. And even if you type a wrong spelling in the auto search algorithm, even in the auto search bar, we will see a good enough spell correction algorithm kicking in there also. See, the thing is, the spell correction algorithms, right? It is different in auto search and it's different in product search. And the reason is, once you start typing, you really need to show the suggestions very quickly, right? But in product search, people are also slightly more patient because you are taking them to a different page. But when it comes to suggestion, you have to ensure that the suggestions are shown within in milliseconds, right? So the kind of spell correction that works in auto search is slightly less smarter than what would happen in the search results page. And if you think about it, even before you enter, let's say you search for one, I'm just thinking of examples. So let's say oil, when you type oil, so oil could mean various categories, correct? So it could mean your cooking oil, it could mean hair oil, or it could also mean baby oil for that matter. Now, we could show all of this in auto search, right? So if you see Amazon also, it shows that in the results. And even in Big Basket, we show that in the results. And once you start typing oil, you will see oil in, I think it shows oil in some cooking oil category, right? Now we could also show other categories saying oil and hair oil also. But the thing is, when you refer to oil, they are mostly searching for cooking oil. And when users are searching for hair oil, they would write hair oil there, correct? So that is how we have built our auto search engine.
Sure.
Did I answer your question?
Oh yes, thank you so much. The second part, of course, was if you have ever thought about doing the search in local languages, but since you mentioned about regional words, right? People search into Iroli or something like that in Kannada. So have you thought about or experimented with any local languages where people could type into their language, or Marathi or Hindi or Kannada?
Got it. So localization, you mean localization, right? Where the app
Correct.
could search on the characters entered in regional languages. We are getting there. I think that product will be launched this year. So, that was not in the first steps. We wanted to improve with whatever minimal things that we could do. But yeah, localization is the future, and we are getting there. And that is how we will get the next billion users on Big Basket, right?
Great,
So
great.
yeah, so we are on the verge of it. And one more thing that we have introduced recently as part of the growth experiment is voice-based search. Okay, and that works for regional terms. So even if you search, say Iruli, you will see onion results. So till now you had to type that Iruli, and now we may not know the spelling correctly, right? But now we have also enabled voice-based search as an experiment. So I think some of you may be part of that growth experiment, and that is also working really well, especially for tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities. That is what is going to get us the next set of users.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. It's quite exciting. We do have a few questions from audience, and I'll pick some of them.
Sure.
So there's a question from Sharon Pillay. His question is there any way of showing more results above the fold without reducing product information in the search results? More results above the fold may lead to more conversion. That's a question.
Okay. Good question. See, if you look at Amazon search, right, it is extremely smart, I would say. Okay, so based on the query that you type, they populate the information. So when you search for rice, the amount of information that it shows is different than when you search for laptop. When you search for laptop, they show a lot of information in the search results page itself. Like they'll show you the brand, the specifications, like even the memory, that okay, 256 GB, and they even show you the processor. So based on the query, what Amazon does is they put all of that information into that search, into that product deck. So Big Basket is not yet there, but I would say that if you can build that smart search, you can decide that, okay, for rice, maybe the minimal things that I need to show is, okay, the brand and the pack type, that is it, right? And maybe the type, okay, basmati rice or some other rice. But if you think about laptop, there is a huge amount of information that you can show. Again, you will have to see that what exactly is our customers looking for, even in the PD page. Are they looking for memory information, or are they looking for some graphic card information, right? So it depends on your website and the product. That's what I would say.
Sure. Thank you. There's another question from Sachish Sharma. He wants to know, how is availability part of the grocery item on the search page conveyed to the users? Don't you think alternatives shown should appear at the next stage? I think you talked about a little on this one. How do you show alternate? So his question is, don't you think alternatives should be shown, should appear on the next stage?
Yes, absolutely agree. Okay. But if you also think about it, the search results page, right? I mean, the listing page on the app, especially, you will probably see 2.5 decks. That's it. Now, we
Mhm.
don't know if we have to fit in that similar products widget right there, correct? But the suggestion that you're giving is absolutely right. It could be a growth experiment where we would say that if the product deck is showing out of stock, maybe provide an option where the user can click and see similar products right there on the page. So we do that today once you go to the product description page, but on the search results page it is not yet there. But yeah, I mean, it could be a growth experiment. We could definitely experiment that. And one more thing that we can do is, see, whenever we are showing the product deck with out of stock as a label, we could also show information that okay, will be available in 2 days, or will be available in 10 days. Now let's say you're buying a shampoo for that matter, just saying out of stock and notify me may not be enough. Okay, I mean, we are learning all these lessons now. So what we are also planning to do is we will start showing okay, will be available in 2 days, or will be available in 10 days. So based on which the customer can make the decision, should I wait for 2 more days, or okay, if it is saying 10 days, I cannot wait for 10 days for the shampoo, I will probably buy somewhere else. So that is how we could also improve the out of stock case when it comes to search results page.
Great. Thanks so much. There's another question. I will probably take one or two more.
Sure.
This one is from Abhishek P. His question is it adding synonyms a double-edged sword as it slows down the search results by a fraction, in addition to, of course, increasing the conversion?
Yes, it is. I totally agree. I mean, we have faced a lot of problems because of synonyms also. So, like you said, it is a double-edged sword. Because what also happened was we started adding synonyms, even though it is slightly the same thing. For example, juice and syrup, it kind of, or squash, these things are quite similar. Now, what happened was whenever someone searched for squash, the first results you're showing the squash results and syrup, followed by juice results. But eventually what was happening was juice results started coming on top. Now it also meant that whenever user searched for squash, we were showing a lot of juice products, right? So it is definitely a double-edged sword, and that is the reason you have to be very, very careful when you're adding synonyms. And of course, you cannot bombard the synonyms list. It should be very well thought through, right? Only when it is absolutely necessary, you will have to add synonyms, or otherwise you will have to find some other alternatives. So absolutely agree.
Right, great. So maybe one last question here, Bhavna. There are a
Yeah,
couple more, and then you can always go back to your LinkedIn page and answer some of them.
sure.
This one is from Ianu, okay, and his question is, which would you recommend, add to cart or a wish list or both, right? Because have seen people add to wish list but don't end up buying the product. So what would you recommend? Add to cart or add to wish list?
Right. Yeah. Good, tricky question, actually. See, I would say it depends on the kind of product that you're selling. Okay. I mean, that is the core. I would say that depending on the product, you will have to decide that. Correct. So, I mean, if at all you think that adding, like showing add to cart button on the Mintra page, maybe it could be a good growth experiment for you to do it. Okay. We we could do that actually. Maybe I would say add to cart. Add to cart is something which I will say, but only when your search is very smart. So if you look at Amazon, what it does is for grocery related pages, right? Be it your product listing pages or search pages, when it comes to grocery, they are showing add to basket button. But when it comes to laptop, iPhones and all, they don't show you the add to basket button. So they're like super smart. Okay. So again, can I know the kind of products that you're selling so that I can suggest better whether we show at, I mean, whether we should show add to wish list or add to cart. So see, or maybe one more thing that I can say is, if at all you think that people are adding to wish list but they're not actually buying, now the other way of how you can ensure that people do add from this point is show that list in the basket page also, right? So if you look at big basket page, what we have done is, once you have added, let's say, 10 products in the basket, we also show save for later list, basically a wish list. So we also show all the wish list products there, so that when your buying decision is made on other products, show these also, telling that, okay, you had wish listed all of this, do you want to buy all of this? And Amazon also does it in a very brilliant way. So I mean, maybe you'll have to find alternate ways of how you can improve add to cart from your wish list. So I
Right.
think that's the answer.
Yes, sure. And Bhavna, by the way, you can always go back to the thread, and the questions are available to you and answer
Sure,
them. And likely so, the audience can ask further detailed questions or queries about that.
sure.
Thank you so much for the fantastic session, Bhavna. I think everybody really enjoyed it. It
Okay,
was very insightful. And as a special token of appreciation from all of us at Product Leadership Festival 2020, hosted by the Institute of Product Leadership, here is a virtual badge for you. The QR code takes you to your own dedicated Hall of Fame page. Please visit that on the Institute's webpage, of course. Once again, a big thank you, and wish you a great or a happy weekend ahead. Thank you so much.
sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for joining the session. I will definitely answer all of your questions offline.